In this video, I'm going to show you how to fold a modular origami Star Festival designed by Nobuko Okabe. I'll be using 16 sheets of paper, each of which have a side length of 15 centimeters or 6 inches, and the finished model then has a diameter that's this distance of about 16 centimeters or just a bit over 6¼ of an inch. There are 5 variants of this model, which you can see right now, and I'll explain how to fold each of these variants in the video. But first we're going to fold the basic module, which is same for all 5 variants. So for that we're going to start with a water bomb base. So one easy way to fold this is with the white side up, fold in half, edge to edge, then fold that in half and have that flap pop up, go inside these 2 layers, make sure you have a nice precise point here, and then align edge with edge and make sharp corners. So I like to actually pinch the corners first, just to get that extra precision, and then flatten down and add creases on both sides. Then flip over and repeat that step, first making that flap pop up and then going inside the layer, pinching the corners for nice precision and flattening down to get a nice water bomb base. Make nice sharp creases by using your thumbnails or a bone folder. And then we have the water bomb base and we want 2 flaps on each side. Next we're going to take one of these flaps and fold it up, starting a crease in this mid point and bringing the corner up to the top corner. Make a crease, unfold. Now reinforce the central crease so it's easier to see, especially in this top area, and then align this crease line with that one to get exactly the right angle, which is quite important so that assembly works smoothly. And same on the other side. This is the module for version 5. And for the other ones, I'm just going to zoom in. Now, variant 1 is also very simple. We're just going to unfold this for a second. Then we're going to take this folded edge and bring it to the central line, not touching it. This is quite important so that assembly works well and so it doesn't get too tight. And this is all you need for variant 1. For variant 2, we're going to just unfold both of these for a second. We're going to fold behind the corner. So I'm just going to flip this over so it's easier to see. And we're going to fold it over to that edge. So if you fold all of the modules like this, you'll get variant 2. Variant 3, we just can go back to this stage right here. Variant 3 is similar in that we fold this and we again fold down. So this is variant 1. We fold it over. Now we take this edge and fold it up to meet with that edge. Right there. And then we open these 2 layers and squash them flat so that this point lies on that edge. And that's variant number 3. Now variant number 4, you're here and then you fold the edge up to the crease line rather than doing a squash fold, so that the section is even narrower. And then you open it and squash it. So that's variant number 4. So now you need to fold 16 modules, and you can have 2 variants on a model. One variant on one side and then a different one on the other side. But it's important that on one side you always have exactly the same one. So pay attention to have 16 modules that look the same. So on one side you need one variant, and on the other side the second variant you choose, which could of course be the same one. Once all of the 16 modules are folded, I recommend you put them in this stage where these 2 flaps are folded up and the other 2 are unfolded. Here I've gone for variant 4 and 5, and I stacked all of them so that variant 4 is on one side and variant 5 on the other, so that I don't mix it up in the assembly. I also recommend using something like paper clips to fasten the modules while assembling. It actually isn't necessary, but it makes it a bit easier, and I'm always for making things easier. So now, when you are sure that the variants are matched up, we're going to take 2 modules, and you can see these flaps, and we're going to go in like this so that they overlap, and you want to have them lock closely so that they touch right here, and they touch right here and right there. So you can see that right here you have one line and not a slight corner here, which is quite important. And when you have that, and these are nicely interlocked, you can open this flap a little and then fold this down and then fold behind. And you can leave it as is, but if you want, you can also take a paper clip and just go ahead and fasten that small section with that paper clip. And the same here, you've got that corner, and you just fold it over, and then you tuck that corner inside. And again, if you want to be extra sure, you can add one here too. And now these really cannot fall apart anymore. Then we're going to take the next one and interlock it just as before. And continue until you've added all modules, and as we go along I'll just double check that you're with me. So at some point these are going to start overlapping, and then you just flip this over, and when you add the next module you just ensure that this right part of the module goes on top rather than underneath, and then continue. And the last one you also put in, just like the ones before. But then you have to remember to link the last and the first module by interlinking them like this. And once you have that, the variants 1 to 4 have the same step next, but variant 5 is different, which is why I chose to include variant 5 in here. So for variant 1 to 4, we're now going to take these flaps and fold along the creases we already prepared. And I'm just going to go counterclockwise here. Find it's a little easier. And just ensure that you always overlap here. And you'll see the different patterns emerge for the different variants. And when you've gone around once, you can check that you arrange these nicely, and you can really do whatever you prefer, whether you want to overlap them or interlink them, and it gives a slightly different look. So perhaps even more variants can be chosen in there. So perhaps you want to leave it like that. Maybe if you have some of them not quite aligned, fix them and move it just a little around like that. And for the reverse, we're going to do this slightly differently, because we're just going to take these corners right here and fold them over. Always taking the other module and overlaying it, and then folding in as closely as possible. As you can see here, I'm always going over, holding them together and then folding over, and then holding the next two together and folding over, and holding the next two together and folding over. And then for the last one, actually I should take out these clips, they're really not necessary anymore. So now when all of the clips are removed, I'm just going to fold these over again, because some of them unfolded. Not to worry. And then just for the last one, I like to unfold the first one, fold the last one in, and then refold the first one, perhaps adjusting the crease just a little bit. And then tuck in the other ones, going around once. And then you can flatten this and strengthen the creases. And then this is variant 5 done. This is variant 4 done, which has a nice ring of white inside and outside. And here is variant 1. This is variant 2. And this is actually variant 3, which just has the outer circle and not the inner circle. So with that, your Star Festival, designed by Nobuko Okabe, is all done. And for even more variants, try using fewer modules. Like here, I used just 10 sheets of paper and you get this open 3D shape, which I think is stunning too, and looks quite different to these models. Now what's important here is that on this top section you can use any variant you like, but on the reverse you will want to use variant 5, and the lock is just slightly different. If I unfold this one here, you're not going to fold over just one module, but two, so if you're using two colors, the one of the same color, and then you fold it over and it makes a very secure lock and no glue is required, and this is very robust, as you can see. I also tried tilting it the other way, but this was very, very difficult to put together, and I also added some sticky tape here just to hold it together so that it wouldn't fall apart. But I used very special paper here, which is the pattern that's called Soft Harmony, and it just has color on the corners, and it achieves a beautiful effect also when you use 16 sheets. As you can see here, I actually colored it myself and smudged the color a bit to give it an artsy feel. I have a video how I color the paper and fold it without speed up, in case you like watching this kind of stuff. And I think that is just a beautiful effect, because you have a lot of white space and just very little color, kind of this rainbow effect, which I really appreciate. Of course, you can use other pattern papers. They give the model a very different feel, so do experiment. Now, if you liked this video, do let me know by giving it a thumbs up, commenting below and sharing it with others. Plus, for your next fold, check out my playlist of other modular origami models. Subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss my next videos. And finally, do check out my website happyfolding.com for more origami content. I hope to see you around and, as always, happy folding!